God is one of us. Even when they did the prayers to yesterday, you cannot believe it, that one of our foremost candidates, Professor Vakedictory, still attended part of the ceremony. The only person who will be here still smiling. As on this, it took me 6 months to smile. That's on CMD. It took me 6 months to put back a smile on my face. But if you look at Vakedictory, it's already back with a past. Because, Tomorrow will be amazing. In fact, this in Abuja, as we are going to Abuja, before we went to Abuja, he said only God can make it. So now and because only 1 year as a woman is a good now. I know your other ways God will try to compensate you because your capacity and your CV is higher than the PhD ministers. So be rest assured that you've run a good race and we've actually got a good result. And we need you in the advocacy, we'll give you VC for us to bring the college forward. So the UVC has actually joined me in the vow that you must make every effort to make improvements to the permanent member of the council. And not just that, we are meeting in 2 weeks' time in Abuja, Association of Provosts of Nigeria, Colleges of Medicine, and it's going to be one of these we are going to develop. So once we are able to get that, we'll be able to find a way to operationalize our statutes. And let us, I didn't 3 times and 1 faculty in your conference. You know that's how we look at it. Meanwhile, we are 1/3 of the whole university. If we are 6 to 7 faculties out of 18 faculties, we are entitled to 33.3% of every facility. So on that note, let me thank you all for being here. It's a rewarding time to come and celebrate my teacher, my brother, my elder brother, my master, my boss. Prof, I wish you well as you join into retirement. I wish that you're getting younger and final with your wife like today. Because let's appreciate it. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor of Unizik University, Professor Ugo Bond, and let me hereby declare this event open. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, our dear Provost, representing the Vice Chancellor. Actually, everybody knows what you can do. There is a reason why you were sent there. That's the only place you can act to at this particular point in time. Okay, now, Choco, you're making a lot of ways from outside. Every single member of council. What are you? We were sending grand lines, no, they said they are not Provost. I know it's a evidence ever do that. See, if I would have a I said to Galo say to Waka. Oh yeah, Kyoto. This is the time. We thank you so much for all you do. Ladies and gentlemen, while that event was on our former digital team, the only lady that gets young under Tinubu's time, Professor Ebele F. Thank you so much for all you do. You always believe that she's not in Nigeria. She doesn't see the Tinubu with us. Thank you so much for all you do, Prof. And we also have in our midst our foremost pathologist, Dr. Nwofor is in our midst. And then we also have in our midst an orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Obi Odiewu. And the proprietors of Admex Group, Emeka and the wonderful wife. It's a pleasure to have you in our midst. And ladies and gentlemen, in a special way, we must recognize the presence of the people that made Professor Nwofor so happy at home. We have in our midst Dr. Nwofor. Also have in our midst Dr. Arise Nwofor. we have this pharmacist Nwofor. Daddy. That's how the name comes from theater. Daddy. It's a pleasure to have you in our midst. And we have the wonderful HOD of Human Biochemistry in our midst. HOD Human Biochemistry. And we have other people that we shall continue to recognize as the best of food. May I invite the head department of surgery for a welcome address by the head of department of surgery, Professor T.U. Mberi.
The chairman, provost, the vice chancellor, Professor Nwofor, and ably represented by the chairman of the provost of the College of Health Sciences, Professor J.K. Major, other members of the high people, my teachers, mentors, friends. We've just come to celebrate, I would say, one of the greats of the Department of Surgery. Once OBSA was introduced, he said there's a name you call a trio that he can't for himself. Actually, probably tell us what it means. He said the three musketeers of surgery. Powerful men, those who gave surgery the conscience surgery had with their set in other departments. They made us what Nwofor is today. They put the name of Nwofor on the map. And my sincere prayer is that by His grace we'll be able to continue to uphold that and even take it to higher ground. So as we come here to listen to us, the amen of surgery, Nwofor, the amen of surgery. As we listen to you today, we hope that at the end of today, we'll be blessed by his lecture, and of course, we pray that even as he leaves from today, that he will enjoy his retirement. And one of the prayers I prayed in one of the videos I made of him is that his children shall be bigger than him. They will live in a better health as we give his valedictory today. And as we listen, please let us pay attention and know those characters we used to remodel Nwofor and Nwofor for a better tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, our head of department. That was just perfectly done with surgery. May I invite, with the permission of the chairman, may I invite the dean of the Faculty of Medicine for his address.
The chairman of the occasion, the vice chancellor, every represented by the provost, and the provost in his own capacity too, the valedictorian and his beloved wife, principal officers of the university and teaching hospital, both present and the past, my teachers, mentors, senior colleagues. I feel delighted to be in this occasion today. Today is not a day for big speech for me because I came to learn, to listen to the Idoye himself, Professor Nwofor, who is the current chairman of the Faculty of Surgery, National Medical College, and also a past HOD, a past provost. Professor Nwofor have seen it all. I still remember his tenure as dean when we had crisis. As we're having a lot of crises now. He stood for to the BC when there was over-admission and we lost accreditation. It was through his efforts and all those people that worked with him that were able to restore that. And because I remember that he has to work extra year, 3 years. He was a dean for 3 years for him to rectify that problem with other members of the team. We appreciate his efforts in building up this place. I remember as a young resident doing posting in urology under him. When people come from outside, they keep on hearing Nwofor, but when they enter Nwofor, just be is it the name we are hearing? So people, the names, Prof. also, SNIA, Prof. Adema, Eze, no, their name we are speaking Nwofor is something like bigger than even Rome. They used the name to build this place. Okay, and we must appreciate all of them for the efforts they put in building this place. Now they work under a tight place, but currently we have vast piece of land that we need to develop. And that's why I call all of us. We also had, as the Prof has said, okay, in the race and quest for peace, we stood up to be counted. We have made our mark in the university. Nobody can never take us for granted again. In anywhere things are going to describe it, that people will call in every campus, what do you want? What exactly do you want? That is it. And the advocacy has to continue. Thank God we also have a provost that is also so passionate about the autonomy of the college. And I believe that all the things in the college will work with him. I myself will work with him closely, and also with all the professors and good men and women of goodwill in this university to make sure that we build a fitting college, a fitting faculty. You understand? Our students pass through a lot. You know, I remember as a HOD one day when I was doing eligibility, I was discussing with them. Some of them told me at a point they have to come to academy and go to dress up and come. And sometimes they miss some of these steps. So they are passing through a lot, and it is going to affect the products that's coming out of this place if we don't do anything. So there is emergency on building of infrastructures in this place. And I call all of us, those who may know the VC, those who may know the president or any other person that will help us, please let us come together and build a fitting institution, college. Let us take this. Prof. Nwofor and his contacts have done their own best. It's time for us to also do our best. I'm here also to listen to him, get also from his experience. I hope that at the end of this day, what we are going to learn today will help us to support us to give more to the society, to build a fitting college that everyone will be proud of.
Thank you so much, Arabi. Thank you so much. Listening to him, we are convinced that a lot of things will happen. But while you were talking, I just talked with Professor Mbe. You were there, and I didn't know I would JJC completely. Yeah, I was saying with Apple. The only I was saying with Ebola, I would be able to come back with you, get us results. Those buildings should spring up. Students, be rest assured. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very quickly invite our own former CMB of Nanda University Hospital, who is going to speak on behalf of the CMB. Professor Robinson Obiano Chie of Yale. A round of applause has been coming to the stage. This is the man that can give you employment with every amount of effortless ease. He's here to talk to us. Thank you so much, Prof.
The chairman of the occasion, all honorable consultants here present, ladies and gentlemen, let me not take much of your time. On behalf of the Chief Medical Director of Nnamdi Azikiwe University Teaching Hospital, I welcome you all on this occasion of this valedictory lecture by our own ME Nwofor today. He was one of the pioneer consultants that started this teaching hospital. Together with me, Jesse Orape, SNC Anyamu, and my brother, in the Department of Pediatrics. When I say my brother, you know whom I'm talking about. Professor Ezechuku, don't you know? Before you see him, he has called you my brother, don't you know? So it's been a journey. I know that when we arrived here, I came here in 1990. We have not taken over the teaching hospital. The students were still in local and they have not taken second MD. So I had to join the anatomy department. But in 1990, exactly, we were able to conduct the second MD. And the first set of students came into the hospital. I remember the day we took over the teaching hospital. myself and Professor Silo, who was the then provost, I accompanied him to the CMD's office. There was one Dr. Nwofor that was the medical director. We walked into his office with a letter from the Commissioner of Health. And we sat in the letter for 1 or 2 minutes. He was in shock. He was just sitting on his seat. And after a while, we realized that it was really takeover. They had not quietly got up. He didn't even say anything to us and walked out of the office. And my provost was still sitting where he was sitting. I told him, Oga, and then he got up and went and sat down on the seat. Then I congratulated him. That was the takeover. We changed the signboard and the teaching hospital started in earnest. So that is how this hospital was taken over, and all the other recruitments and everything. You see what we have today. I'm happy, I'm alive to see where we are today, and I'm very, very happy. So I thank all of you. I will not take over the speech of the day. The main speaker will still come and address you. Thank you very much. I said I must say something on behalf of the CLM.
Thank you so much, our old Professor R.O. of Yale, for that wonderful speech on behalf of the CMD of Nnamdi University Teaching Hospital. While the presentation was going on, our dear member of the Nnamdi University Council, the senior representative to the council, our former dean of both faculties, Professor Victor Igwebike Onyora. He's the only man that will always tell you that when a council refuses to listen to council, it will cancel itself. Council must always listen to white council. If not, it will cancel itself. Thank you so much. We deeply appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the citation of the doyen of urology. And this citation will be taken by no other person than the man that has the capacity to do this.
Then Professor Ofindi and our own DKJ of that's what I want to call him, Professor Joseph Ketchum. He's a man, small body, but big engine. Small body, but big engine. So don't try him when you see him. Don't look at his physique and try him. He can fight. So on that note, I want to start this valedictory citation, but before that, I want to give a very brief history of pedigree of what we saw when we came to to my like the provost said, we were just 3 of us that attended the interview in 1997. That's right. 3 that were yes. So, but the 10 person ended up in family medicine. Yes, so but so you can see where that is why they are full sometimes. I think I will find us, or we find us. He may be my senior age, but we came in the same time. Thank you very much. We met a couple of people here. I want to mention them. This Dr. Ezaguga, Dr. Nwofor, Dr. Opala from Unobi, Dr. Ekechu, yes. And then before, people like Dr. Onde, Epulife Senior, not Epulife Junior, Epulife Senior, Onde, and there's another one that came for general surgery too. So this is the chronology of how things have gone in this surgery department. We also met people in other departments. My brother, Professor Bimosu, was in Manji, and there's this other person in Manji, CC Okolo. These people are not, these people are calling the victim of names. If you see this CC Okolo, but if he was the one that was medical president now, I don't think anybody will stand. Because he has this bad head. When he's talking, it's not so good. You feel like the thing on your head, and you just have to accept what he's telling you. So, but these are the kind of people we met here. So, having said that, can I just give a brief citation on my boss? Please, can you stand up? This is one occasion I can command. Please, I forgot to mention Professor J.I.D. Adima. You're welcome, sir. Now, these are a brief citation because you know that if I have to read everything here, we'll spend the whole day here. So, I'm reading this citation of Professor Alexander Nwofor. The family of late Josiah and Angie Nwofor of Uwenichi village in Upper South Continent, area of Anambra State. Both of them were civil educationists. While growing up, he attended the famous Dennis Memorial Grammar School, where he graduated in 1973. And you know one thing with them grammars, that's what we call it. When you see them not feared, yes, so you can see you see them, you look at them, see them. They are very proud of that school. And they got so they have this solidarity among themselves that carries them along. So whenever you see them, you say not feared. It's good. After that, he proceeded to the University of Nigeria in Nsukka to study medicine. He graduated in 1979. He did his housemanship in UNTH and went further to do his youth service at the General Hospital Talata Mafara, Sokoto State, now Zamfara State. He then got to UNTH in surgery, where he completed in 1989, specializing in urology. He's a fellow of many colleges, including the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, fellow of the West African College of Surgeons, fellow of the American College of Surgeons, fellow of the International College of Surgeons, and fellow of the International Society of Surgeons, and most recently, fellowship of the Nigerian Academy of Medicine. And a lecturer in 1996. He rose to become a professor of surgery in 2005. He has published over 80 papers in peer-reviewed journals. He has trained and mentored over 40 surgeons, of course, I'm one of them, especially in the field of urology. And we're all practicing in many different parts of the country and beyond the shores of this country. He has supervised more than 40 fellowship candidates with successful outcome. He has served the hospital in so many other capacities: honorary consultant, urologist, head department of accident and emergency, Chairman Medical Advisory Committee, Acting Chief Medical Director, Head Department of Anesthesia, Head Department of Surgery. He became a dean in 2010, and like somebody said, he's the only dean that has stayed in that position for 3 years. And he was one-time provost from 2014 to 2018. He was the director, Center for Biological Research, Nnamdi University, Awka, and also a convener, Neuro Oncology Group, and head, Neuro Oncology Team, 2000 to date. He was the director, Neuro Cancer Registry. Chairman Board of Nnamdi University Medical Center. He has served as chairman and member of several committees of this hospital, and he was the coordinator of a team that established the School of Nursing, Nnamdi University Teaching Hospital. Several editorial teams. He was the editor-in-chief, Nigerian Journal of Urology. Associate with the Orange Journal of Medicine, editor, Tropical Journal of Medical Research, associate editor, Nigerian Medical Journal, member, editorial board, Nigerian Journal of Surgical Sciences, member, editorial team, International Surgery since 2023 till date. He's happily married to one of us, somebody who has awarded an associate fellow of urology. This is Nwofor. He has blessed his 4 beautiful, lovely children. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Professor Alexander Magbagbuachukwu Ekwuife Nwofor, FLTS, FWAC, FACS, FICS, FISS,
The chairman of the occasion, our brand new Vice Chancellor, Professor
ably represented. I'm here. So JKC, the CMD, London's University Teaching Hospital, in absentia. The Provost himself, JKC, past Provost present, Deans, Dean of Medicine, Dean of Basic Clinical Sciences, and Dean of Clinical Sciences. I also recognize the past deans, heads of departments, my lords, spiritual and temporal, members of the academia and consultants. My colleagues and the elders of this college, my residents, the students, Grace Zikat. Grace Zikat. Grace. Good. And our guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I have great pleasure to present this valedictory lecture. You know, there's a time for everything. A time to begin and a time to end, a time to say goodbye. I will address a number of issues here. My journey so far in the place, and then I will try to give some advice how things may be better. Thank you. I grew up in a family of educationists. We are only excellent or good enough, and so it was rewarded. Justice and discipline were the watchwords. So I became conscious of those expectations from childhood. But my mother made me in charge of her first aid box in the house. And during your senior secondary, the best students were encouraged to go on and study English other, medicine, engineering, architecture, pharmacy, and the rest. So, my meritocracy was the order of the day. So that's where I have always been at some spot of activity each time in my life. As soon as I came into secondary school, the war started. So we had to go back there. And then when we came back after the war, we were all promoted to the second year. And during our third year in the place, it was needed that the school year would change to June instead of December. So by June 1973, we spent only like 4 years. We took our school start exam. So we were able to take the entrance to universities that year with the people who were waiting. And I was lucky. I got into that in the September of the same year. So I suddenly found myself among adults and very elderly people. And then the freedom was so much that you can never imagine that. You can sleep if you want, and nobody will advise you. But I happen to have a very fatherly education student who was an elderly man. I was extremely friendly, so I would tell people,
and I succeeded. My undergraduate career was very smooth, not eventful. Now, after I had an answer but after the service, I returned to my university conference. At the time, presidency was not as structured as it is today. So, president had to make all the efforts. And if you are lucky, you may have a hearing result, or your seniors will guide you. So, I learned eventually that the reason was that most of our teachers didn't go through this kind of residency, so they didn't understand residency, especially the aspect of supervision of residency. So it was as if we were just doing ourselves. So we are very skillful clinically, but they couldn't follow a scientific trend. And if you remember, there was a time they started talking about publish or perish in the university. It came in the 80s, and a lot of people were affected. Those people were very skillful, could not become professors because they were not able to publish. Now, Emeritus Professor C.C. Modular Blessed, he aptly captured this scenario in the title of his faculty lecture, The Orphan Researchers, where he referred to us and our teachers as orphan researchers. It did not make much sense to me then, but it became clear later that you were referring to the issue of guidance and mentorship in research. Since a blind man could not lead another one successfully. We kept learning from our experiences and the experiences of our colleagues in the group. For my senior years, I settled for the role for a few reasons. First, is that it was the most technologically driven specialty, and then the attitude of the consultants in neurology. Our posts in there were more like service driven and not driven. And we depended on our seniors to pass on the things, people like JCR. We had to do several postings that were not related to our specialty, just to give the senior registrars cover to the but that helped us a lot because we became very serious itinerant students and we could handle anything from A to Z. Well, finally we had to write a dissertation on projects that would last for only 1 year. We had to travel to all the medical libraries in Nigeria in search of literature. I started from English, I went to UCS, went to Lagos, to in fact, there was nothing like search. You go to the library, you pick up the next English, select the articles you want, and they start searching for them in all the library. If they are not there, you can order them from abroad. So people are very lucky now. You can stay in your room and get all the references you need. My first work was on the effect of varicose on infertile varicose. I started this in earnest after approval. I had operated on 36 patients, and at the time of analysis, I had only 12 analyzed. That means, to me, at the time, if it were now, that would still be very useful to me. So, to me, there was no headway, and my supervisor didn't advise me in any way. So, many patients will not come back if they are successful because you need to follow them for 6 months. Some who come back if they think they are in a hurry because it has to do with infertility. So they don't come back. The people who succeeded will not come back as well. So that was the scenario at the time. So I had to abandon that work. Then I started a new work, and this work was on hematology.
And because of the rigorous nature of the literature, so as nobody was advising me, I tried it first and designed something that would not require follow-up. It would just require the minutes at the initial treatment. So I tried it out and it worked. Then I never got take-off grant. Till date, no grant unless Mr. Vice Chancellor, no grant, yes, no take-off grant. This is only specialist with competencies in following act of patient care, to follow the trend in scientific development, competence in teaching and learning process, as well as being able to conduct research. This is why, apart from clinical component of the training, there's a high academic component, including exploitation at the end of the training. The residency training is an academic program and not about commerce and fair. I have to emphasize that. It requires intelligence, knowledge, discipline, hard work, and dedication. When some of these are lacking, one is bound to have some problems with the program, which could cause delays or even abandonment by the program. We made medical officers and house officers on takeover of hospital. Further employment of medical officers into departments are based on interest in such specialties. We started informal training by encouraging our medical officers to go for primary health. Many were not interested, so they left. But people who remained were promoted to senior house officers. And they grew into the administrators, so on and so forth. So the departments were encouraged to formalize residence training by applying for accreditation to the colleges. So
So we brought our experiences during our training as residents. We are in the system and we got ready for accreditation. So we and Nigeria were the first departments to earn accreditation from West African College of Surgeons in 1995. And then surgery went on to earn full accreditation of the National Government College for training and also in part 1 and then for full training for part 2 in general surgery and urology in 1997. And this has remained the same. We added more specialties. Then eventually the other departments were encouraged to do the same. Of any of the colleges after extra 1 year notice. So they were asked to leave the program. This exercise was very smooth and successful. In the next batch, for those who had not passed for exam after exhausting their chances, they were given an extra 1 year notice to pass and do this. The implementation of this policy in 2021 met with a lot of challenges, including court cases, which was later resolved when some elders stepped in. But it marked a turning point in residency training program in Nairobi and the whole country. Now we have regular entry and exit into the program. So it's continue to. But by mid and 2000, early and mid 2000, Nairobi became a center of pilgrimage for surgeons, especially urology, from all over Nigeria. And this trend has continued to date. Currently, we have a stable system, and we've trained several surgeons, other specialists who are making waves all over the world. However, in more recent times, new issues have come up, which all of you know about the Japa syndrome. It's very difficult for you to even get residents. The medical officers outside there don't seem to have any interest in postgraduate. And this does do for the future of specialist practice in this country. In 1999, in a bid to self-sufficient in manpower for service and training in this hospital, we set a date 2005. We initiated the start development program in rural areas. Many residents were recruited in pathology and sent to different centers and anesthesia. We trained in pathology, chemical, histology, and supernumerary candidates. None of them came back to this hospital after training. So it was a bad experience and it affected further implementation of that policy. So our dreams were not met. Now, I want to talk about the administrative experience and what I encountered. My first administrative experience was in my first person residence. As soon as I arrived in NTH.
Hello, email.
As soon as I arrived, I was moved to casualty. The hospital management, we needed to reorganize the whole clinical service. And they elected me and sent me there. Initially, management has some resistance, but then they can still their ground. And so eventually, when there was almost a showdown, management quickly responded to the request. So it's not today that NDK started this war. We had a lot of reforms which we initiated. I found committees, so I used a lot of committees to work. We reintroduced meritocracy in interviews, employments, and promotions. We created revolving funds for some key service areas, pharmacy, radiology, laboratory. Unfortunately, we have very checkered history that did very well. I was the chairman and Dr. Ugiaga, a retired director of pharmacy at the NBU Theatre, from day to doctor, was the head of pharmacy. That was the one that survived most. And at the point, during the crisis, if you know about the bandit who was killed, a CMD of NBU, who was killed because they didn't survive. At the time we had such issues, we had enough funding, DRF, that hospital borrowed 2 months salary from